Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all y'all. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave link of the site, the emote, in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can say hi with the emotes, with your Bear Cave or your Lego emote, or just to say hi, throw in another emote of your choosing. Harold, thank you for hosting. I appreciate that as always, my friend. Thank you very much for your continued support. Tonight we're working on the Leo NPD. Lashbrook just subscribed with Twitch Prime. That's 35 months, 35 month streak. Honestly thought I'd broken the streak. You didn't. Thank you so much. Gonna clip that there. Lashbrook, thank you so much for your continued support. Means a lot. Appreciate that so much. Thank you for subscribing and renewing your subscription. Reminder, folks, when you hit renew, like Epic Global World just did, Pat, we have a real life Gundam. Subscribe for 18 months, currently on a 4-month streak. Epic Global World, thank you so much. Also throwing in the applause there. Also going to throw some emotes in. Thank you so much. I was going to say, make sure you hit that notification when it's time to renew. I appreciate that very much. I thank you for your continued support. Epic Global World, of course, we're going to talk about that Gundam that's moving around, that's happening. BattleBots was a thing. Big life-size mechs is a thing that the U.S. has been doing, Japan has been doing. It's not necessarily new. It's getting closer. We're not just in the statues. We're in the close to reality phase, and I'll get into that tonight, I'm sure. I do want to reiterate here, in front of everybody, Pat Baer's opinion, when I'm out there talking about this stuff, I don't want to see mechs. I want to see exosuits. I think that practically speaking, exoskeletons are the way to go. Not giant mechs that need just so much energy to move around. I think exosuits are just like extending. Got to keep the person in there, going for their thing, making it happen. I think that's the way to go. That's my opinion on it. But if you are going to make big mechs, you don't have to make them look like people. That's that's one of the big jokes. Also, people that are sign me up, excited for our Gundam future, just like how the robots look cool. And I get that. That's a big thing. That's why I always say, you should watch some Gundam. Because people aren't psyched about it when it's real, when you're in the show. If you're a big takeaway from 8th MS or War in the Pocket or the original Gundam series or Iron-Blooded Orphans, is this looks rad. You gotta take a little. So as I have been known to say, it's called Iron-Blooded Orphans. So, Aristophan, or Evangelion. Cool robot, Pat. Yes. You just look at it and you go, oh, these are cool robots. Look, they are cool robots. But also, hi, Aristophan. Happy to hear greetings for Anarchy USA. Yes, indeed. One of the Anarchy places. Epic World says, based on today's news, Pat, I have one question. Can I play Skyrim in my Gundam or Game Pass with nude mods on Game Pass? We'll get into that. We'll talk about our glorious corporations run future. It's coming. We know. Instead of buying small studio, why buy a bunch of small studios when you can buy big studios and that are also publishers? I am of the opinion that everyone who tweeted or said on a podcast, hey, Microsoft doesn't have any games, where the games Microsoft should issue a, oops, my bad, am I the reason the monkey paw's finger was bent? Oh no. Because this is, look, if we get we're going to get into building in a moment. I'm going to keep talking about this. I've had some thoughts. I literally joked about, oh, I guess you should have a hot take on the news for today. Um, I will say this. It is 100% indeed justifiable, but also hypocritical if you were saying that it's good that Sony has exclusives and you're like, Microsoft shouldn't make any of Bethesda's games exclusives. That is understandable because if you're like, I have a PlayStation and I'm fine with the fact that there are games that you can't play but I can play. To then be like, hey, Dirty, that's it. Right, we're doing hot takes. To then be like, but also, I want to play the next Elder Scrolls game. Fuck you. I want to play the next Fallout. Yeah, that is hypocritical. It's understandable, but it is hypocritical. Well, I'm going to retweet my tweet, try to get a few more folks to come join us in the party zone, which is not the name of this. This is Build with Our Workshop. We're here in the Bear Cave. It's definitely not the party zone, but it is a fun time. But yeah, that's that's kind of my hot takes. Like my general look. The idea that Obsidian and that they're in the same umbrella as Bethesda, and the concept, the idea, the possible existence of Fallout New Vegas 2 is so cool. I'm so psyched about it. But that's probably not going to happen, but you can imagine it. Hey, PS fanboys, I want to play the next FF game. Yeah, I mean, yes. Look, also, you're going to play the next Final Fantasy game. It just might take a while before you can. I just want a good new Quake game. Yeah, maybe you will. Maybe they'll be like, hey, we want you to make Quake. I don't know. Here's the thing. As some people have said, they have heard ZeniMax was looking for a buyer for a couple of years. If it was not Microsoft, it would have been someone else. Yes. And there are ways to look at this positively. Like, hey, Microsoft bought them. That sounds way better than a hedge fund or a corporation that was like, we should have a video games division or some other thing. The idea that or Epic Open World says it says or Activision, yes. The idea that Microsoft suddenly now has more studios. The thing that's interesting to me is, what does this mean for smaller studios that have been acquired by Microsoft as well? Do they get less oversight, less resources? Does this positively, negatively, or in no way affect Double Fine? Did I just remind you that Microsoft bought Double Fine? Because their next game is going to be multi-platform, Psychonauts 2, because of deals in place. They're going to make Psychonauts 2 multi-platform. But after that, they probably won't. But did I just remind you that Double Fine was bought by Microsoft? Because people, yes. Microsoft bought Bethesda pending regulatory body approval. Which, I mean, let's be real, y'all. If Viacom and CBS can merge, then Microsoft can buy Bethesda. Unless Microsoft has made our current U.S. president angry, which, as far as I know, they have not. Then yeah, they can just. It's not going to stop. It's not going to be like, they're not going to be like, actually, you know what? This is bad. No. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to get approved. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what games get made. Yeah, like you could imagine that there will be some games that won't be. Wow, Microsoft, you'll say, am I going to play Fallout 5 on the PC? I would imagine I am. Microsoft basically would like you to buy PC games and play games on your PC as well as their consoles. But they're pretty much happy with that, so that's good. Uh, the real question is, are you going to be able to uh, buy your yeah, all these games? Will you be able to multi-platform? What deals are in place? What did Bethesda already have planned that now it may be scrapped, or deals that were signed to put games out? It's that stuff is always kind of interesting. Yes, they want you to subscribe to Game Pass, as the Rich Man says. Yes, they would like you to do that. So where you do that, it's hey, would they like you? I mean, honestly, they'd like you to buy an Xbox for a next gen Xbox that is, in some ways, not as powerful as their current gen Xbox, the Pro, or the advanced version, the upgraded middle one, because they would like you to buy that. Hello, technically, Will. I'm Pat. Welcome to the stream. I'm working on the Leo high grade. This is the NPD. Ooh, autofocus has not been turned off. I apologize, folks. I'm going to quickly fix that. I thought I had done that. And you're saying, Pat, why don't you have that set in your settings to turn autofocus off? Well, the problem is that this webcam and this webcam are the same brand and model number. So to turn off one autofocus would be turning off the other autofocus. And I have not been able to fix that solution. Dirty wants me to hit that gong. A few more Bing searches, and I'll be Game Pass sub through 2022. Hell yeah, Dirty. That is worth a gong. If you're new to the stream, this is a decorative gong a former roommate left in my apartment. I took it with me because it's a gong. It's a decorative gong, so I'm going to hit that. Felt like a good use of the channel points. So yeah, working on the NPD. That's a non-player diver. It's like a non-playing character. It's an NPC in the diving world of Gundam Build Divers. They're grunts. These are just grunts. They're NPCs, which is why they come with a variety of heads and shoulders. And yeah, so right now I got this head here, the cylinder head, but you could have a bunch of different ones. And I could have picked and chose what colors to do. Yeah, they're mobs, basically, Dirty. Yeah, I mean, they're just like, yeah, this is, these are just creatures to go attack. You got to hit the jungle and take them out. Yeah. But yeah, they're just, grunts on the battlefield. I'm not super familiar with divers, but this is what I've been led to believe. But I also do like the term NPD, meaning non-player divers instead of non-player characters. I built this plus 2 Leos not that long ago. Yeah, so not too long ago, I did the high grade of just the Leo, the high grade of Wing Leo, which was fun to build, the green Leo. That was nice. But this one intrigued me. Now, obviously, look, Bandai would love you to buy multiples of these. So that's why it comes with different shoulders. It comes with different heads. I think that's pretty fun. I think that's neat that it comes with options. I've been kind of switching them out. And you can switch the colors. You could have done. I could have done all red, but I thought the gold with this one kind of going a little Master Chief, and then the red for this kind of eye here, the Cyclops eye. I thought that was neat. And then I was like, well, that's what's left is blue, so we'll do the double bars in blue. But yeah, you can mix and match them. You can. We'll take some different photos. But if you buy multiples, won't you have a small piece of head? Yeah, pile of heads. Yes, Lashbrook, if I bought multiples of these, then I would have a bunch of heads left over. Yes, you're not wrong. And shoulder pieces. There are 4 heads and 3 different styles of shoulders. And then, of course, you can, if you want, do just do the one shoulder and then the other one put the shield on there. So you've got some options. Lots of good options with this. But yeah, look, as always, when it comes down to this whole the whole Microsoft thing, um, I hope that people that made the choice that, hey Jim, welcome, happy to have you here. People that made the choice to go with Sony this generation because they can't buy both, that they'll still be able to play the games they'd like to play. Um, my hope is for the people that work at Bethesda that they continue to have employment, and things work out, and maybe they get to make some choices they previously couldn't make because it didn't make sense, or there wasn't the support there wasn't the backup studios, or whatever, and they get to do some cool shit. Do, Look, would I like Fallout New Vegas 2? Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get Fallout New Vegas 2, but I would like it. Or Fallout 4.5 that is not made by Bethesda, but using that engine. Yeah, I think that would be neat, but I don't expect that to happen. But it'd be pretty cool. Working on our feet here right now, so we can get a lot of this done. It was a fun little build, so I'm happy to work on it. I think Microsoft buying Bethesda is the only way we get Dishonored 3 because those games did not sell well. Yeah, a lot of people were worried about Dishonored 3, and they're like, oh, maybe Microsoft won't want them to do it. And I was like, were they gonna be doing it? It's like, hey y'all, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but um, I I don't I have to look it up. Did did Dishonored 2 outsell Dishonored 1? Did Dishonored 2 sell well? Is that the first game sold quite well? Uh, okay. Okay, it did sell more. All right. Um, but it did so. Uh, it seems like overall it did sell better by the end, but it started off very bad, and then of course, 2 years ago they decided they were going to put Dishonored on hold. So yeah, Prey also sold terribly, so maybe we get another Prey this way also. Who knows? Yeah, it could just be like, hey, Dishonored, y'all got people that worked on that still at the company. Hey, let's make another one. That was somebody liked that, but it's not like you know it's not like they apparently it did eventually sell better than the first game, but at launch it sold worse. So that's bad. And this is obviously sales are not the only indication of quality, certainly, but the more and more, the bigger and bigger you get, and the bigger and bigger your overseers are. I was going to say overlords, and that's harsh. But the bigger your overseers are, the more, hey, investment of time and money and energy should lead to sales. If otherwise you don't get to. Uh, so we'll see. And then also, like when you look at what does Bethesda see as a hit in terms of sales, compared to what does Microsoft see as a hit in sales, and how different are those two, you know, thoughts? So, which is obviously different than what other people would see, because I mean, it's obviously that was a big issue with Tomb Raider and Hitman. Uh, the Whereas Tomb Raider sold really well, and their target numbers were not going to ever be hit. They were never going to hit those target numbers. They were never going to be satisfied. And a similar case with Hitman, where it was like, oh, your projections are ludicrous. So, shit. Microsoft can absorb the low sales of Bethesda, not follow an Elder Scroll games. Yeah, they totally might be able to, especially to keep creative talent around to put out what might end up being a hit, like a surprise hit. It's not, sometimes games series do well eventually, and they do take a few games. Far Cry 3 surprised a lot of people by doing incredibly well. Uh, and then they rushed it and they went too far with Far Cry and dumped out a lot of games and then side games, and it became a problem. But like Far Cry 3 was a big surprise that it did so well, and that can happen when you are like, oh well, we like it. Doom and Doom Eternal did not sell great. Yes. Doom sold pretty dang well, and I mean Doom did all right, and then of course did very well critically, which was a nice win for them, and of course they were passionate about it. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I heard that Eternal didn't sell particularly great. Uh, and I did not like Doom Eternal myself. I'm one of those people that was like, oh, they doubled down on the things I didn't like in the first game and added a bunch of stuff I don't love in the second. Oh, all right. Oh, why did they think story was the thing that I wanted more of? No, no thanks. I don't. I definitely didn't want that. I definitely didn't need more story in Doom. But whatever. I understand that I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm not speaking for the trees on that one, because some people really liked it. Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. I don't know. Uh, my hate for Doom Eternal is more my neighbor's fault than the game's fault. I understand. Sometimes that happens. I agree. I did not enjoy Doom Eternal that much. Why was there so much fucking platforming? Yeah, I mean it was a thing where like it felt like somebody was like, hey, the team figured out platforming, and they were like, cool. Did you figure out the other stuff that we were going to try to do? No, we got platforming though. And they're like, all right, well, we'll double down on that because we figured out how to put it in there. I don't know. Maybe, and I'm sure there are people out there that are like, hell yeah, man. The platforming rules, and it just feels so much like you can't do anything, and it feels so much more like oppressive and chaotic, and some people were probably like, this is exactly the game for me. This is what I wanted all the time. And I'm glad that they enjoyed it. But I did not. The bass riffs of Doom were cool, but not coming through your wall all night on the weekend. Yeah, I can see that, Dirty. Yeah, I mean, gamer neighbors can be a rough thing, certainly. But also, I had a guy that was. I used to live in a place where the guy above me was learning bass guitar, and he never got better at bass guitar. So I lived through that. That was a bad half a year of just a guy just never getting better at the bass guitar. Just oofta, oofta doofta. Just trying to play the simplest like chord progress, like it's like, oh, let me just get down to here, and like, oh, just working on his finger, and he's just working on, just trying to figure it out, just trying to go for it. And just like, oh, okay, well, he's going again. Oh, cool, all right. Ah, I wish he was playing into headphones instead of a very inexpensive amp that it sounds like he's playing out of. Okay, cool. At least his dog rules. This reminds me, how does Alex drum streams keep happening? I would think his neighbors would have killed him by now. So, I'm not going to blow up Alex's spot. But, he said he lives in an apartment. You've seen a little bit of it. As far as I can tell, the location of his drum kit does not interfere with other people. And obviously I'm not going to get into any specifics, but that is as far as I can tell. He is able to operate in there in the placement in the room that he is performing in, if memory serves correctly, and I believe that it does. But yeah, I mean, I am. I didn't bring it because it's a big bulky thing, but I do regret not bringing my USB DDR pad here to the house that I'm currently in because I never could use it in my apartment because I weigh a lot and I would have been moving around and that would have been rude. And here I'm in a house and I would have just had to been like, tell my folks, hey, I'm going to make a bunch of weird noise and sweat a lot on this DDR pad. So I wish I'd done it. I would end up bringing it with me to work on my off days. Like if I had to go into the theater that I worked at and do some work there, um, and like yeah, get some stuff done, do whatever, and then there would be some time. If I knew there was going to be time before um, people came in, I would bring my DDR pad and my laptop and just kind of like do that there. That worked out pretty great. And then I would leave before anyone arrived, hopefully, although sometimes people would arrive and they would hear dance music and be very confused and come into the theater and find me, a sweaty mess, dancing to some sort of J-pop or European dance music and be like, what's happening right now? But most of the time they did not catch me, and that was good. I had a roommate in college that had one of those pro DDR platforms. Yeah, so mine is not the most high tech. It's not like really expensive. It's not a pro one. It's not one of those metal ones. Mine can fold up, so I could have shipped it here, but it felt like a waste of money to send it here. So I did not do that. But I could have. And as I said, I do somewhat regret not doing that. Um, because that would have been fun. Yeah, I used to play my alto saxophone at work because I didn't want to play it in my apartment, and that was a good use of my time there to get. And that was also better if someone like walked in and they were like, "Hey, what's going on?" It'd be like, "Oh, I'm just playing my saxophone." I'd rather be discovered playing my saxophone than be discovered playing TDR. Uh, I used to have a oh no, sorry. I'm always tempted to get Ring Fit, says Epic Open World, because I live in an apartment and it's basically I live in an apartment setting. Yes, yes, it does have that, which is cool. Um, that is neat. All right, we've got almost one leg done. Here, our right leg. We just got to put on. Um, we're gonna just basically get it so that we can hook it into the waist, which we have to build, but we can finish a leg, which is good. Yeah, this kit's not the hardest kit in the world, even as a high, even in a high grade sense. This is not a difficult kit to build, but I'm enjoying putting it together. It's fun to do. All right. I always like the Leo, and we build stuff that is from or in reference to Gundam Wing here, so no problems with that. Um, but yeah, I do wish I had the chance to do some of that as exercise. It is the window is open. The air conditioning is off. It is unseasonably cool here in South Carolina. It will get humid again soon, but right now, like in the early morning, which I'm not. That's not me, but that's other people. You gotta put a jacket on. Um, and the beauty of that for me right now is I'm doing stationary bike in the garage, and when I'm done, I'm not a sweaty, disgusting mess. I'm sweaty, but I'm not like whip the sweat off your arms, like having to do that to keep going. Like I'm able to actually bike for longer than I have been lately because I'm not feeling awful doing it. And that has been great. The stationary bike has been pretty good. I've been trying to walk and enjoy like the weather being pretty comfortable. It's going to get humid again next week, but this week pretty good. So excited about that. Do my best to take advantage of the cool air uh, and the drop in temperature. But yeah, having the window open's been interesting because turns out like I get a decent breeze coming in from the window. There's one window here in this room, but the breeze does not technically counteract the heat emanating from my PC because my PC I didn't want to put on the carpet, and this table it if anything I could find to put it on would make it too tall for the table. So it's just I'm touching it right now. I have to lean a little bit, and my PC is right over there, and I keep it hopefully far enough away from my microphone that it doesn't pick up the fans, but it is kicking off some heat. And that is causing like this room to be warmer than I would like. But the rest of the house is pretty comfortable temperature wise, so I'm not like gonna complain. I could have my door open, but I don't have my door open while I'm streaming, so uh, that's a Pat Baer update for all y'all. If you're all like, "Hey Pat, how you doing?" and the heat is bad, and the answer is no, it's all right. It's doing okay. Um, I had a pretty good weekend. I helped out with the Game Developers of Color Expo, just doing some moderation. The beautiful thing about that is you really didn't have to mod too much because it was a paid conference. Now, of course, people could get low. People could ask for and received low cost tickets to it, um, which was really nice. And then people that could afford the more expensive tickets were encouraged to do so to help the event go. But I'm sorry, this piece just doesn't want to go in. Uh, but yeah, because it was paid, the people that were there watching them early um, were really interested. And sometimes you had to be like, hey, most of what I end up doing was a lot of like, hey, folks, the next talk is in 15 minutes. Go get a drink of water or stretch. Hey, have you stretched lately? It was mostly just like best practices self care stuff, which, I'm all about. Like, that was a lot of what I was doing there. And then occasionally it was like, hey, take this conversation offline. So a higher class of riffraff. Yes, dirty. But yeah, just like people that were excited to be there and weren't there to cause trouble. Like I wasn't doing the YouTube comments, so like that's a different issue. And I wasn't dealing with, with like people, like obviously like moderation of a Discord for PAX online. That's a different thing. Where like you'd had to go through a couple steps to be able to talk, but it wasn't that hard to be able to chat. Um, that was I'm sure, a little bit more difficult. I didn't do that, but that was a little more difficult. There were so many excellent charity streams this past weekend. Yes, Epic World. So besides Game Developers of Color Expo, also there was a very cool. I don't think it was Games Done Quick, but there was a speedrunner event that was like the bad game block. That was a thing that happened this weekend. There was Save Point, which is a Waypoint Vice Gaming. They did a big charity thing. There was a voter drive initiative fundraiser thing from Spawn on Me. Trying to think. The MS for multiple sclerosis. Which would have been the MS Walk, but obviously not happening that way. That was Drew Scanlon this weekend. There were a bunch of things, and then of course, like there was also PAX, which is not a charity thing. It was just PAX continued, PAX Online. I did see some people being like, "Why was PAX so long?" And it's debatable whether or not it was smart to do what they did, which was they rolled in EGX, PAX Australia, and PAX West all into one long event. Did it make more sense to do it as three different events? I don't know. I don't know what their numbers look like. I don't know if it was like doing it for so many days took away from some people's enjoyment. Uh, Whereas if it had just been 3 days or 2 days, it would have been a more focused event. I can't tell you. It did feel weird because my two panels were like in the beginning of PAX, and then there'd be days where I'd be like, oh yeah, uh, this is what we all asked internet commentator. We all wanted to know that. Uh, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Um, but I do think that because it was three events put together, if they had just done 2 or 3 days, then people would have been out in the cold. Especially because they did three panel rooms and they did streams. They did a long stretch. One of the nice things was they were able to have a whole lot of different kinds of people come through, and I think that rules. And because they are trying to be a big, cool event, and they are trying to be a big thing, and they are facilitating people because one thing to take into account, like you watch way less the year than years past. Epic, and those also because it was stretched out, right? Like so, like you maybe missed that somebody you talked to did a panel, and you might have watched that because you weren't getting your Saturday wasn't everyone you follow on the internet talking about PAX. So even if you're not there, people are talking about it. Oh, hey, Lord Crash, didn't happen to have you here. Welcome, welcome. We're working on the waste right now. Let's build a waste. Put this thing together. Yeah, I think that I think that's totally fair that you watch less of it because it was a longer thing. Uh, and it's hard to serve a lot of different masters. Also, a thing to take into consideration is a lot of people who go to PAX never watch panels. Panels are not a thing that they are invested in or interested in. That's just not their. It's not their PAX. So they also like try to do a bunch of things for folks that's not their interest. Um, so they tried to do some of their scavenger stuff and their demos, and whereas like Game Developers of Color Expo, a lot of their games had Steam demos, so you could go play those, and that was very cool. There was a curated demos, but the talks are very popular there, and people are generally really interested in those in those interviews and panels. So that a digital event, while was probably great for a lot of people. Now, one of the big drawbacks of doing a digital panel for a thing like Game Developers of Color is uh, one of the best parts of it is being in the same room with a lot of really interesting, passionate, cool people. It's a smaller event, and you get a ton of people together, uh, and you hope that it all works out. Uh, but it's a tough thing. Um, to like not be able to be there. And one of the very cool things they do is they have uh, I've never seen this before. Even smaller conventions should steal this in the future. If and when in the future we can have conventions again, a thing uh, that smaller like 1 or 2 day conventions should steal is lunch break, where a block of time where they encourage people to go out and explore and eat, and there aren't panels, and people can still play demos, but they're encouraging folks to go out and explore. And in this case, Game Developers of Color is in Harlem, so they're like, hey, go eat at a local business and then come back. And it's kind of a neat way to do it. I think smaller cons like Indiecade or something should definitely adopt that because I thought that was very cool. I thought that ended up being really neat. Got rockets here on the waist. Love that. It's a great touch. All right, so now we got to put more of this on here. some front rockets on this as well. One rocket. Boosters. But yeah, I thought overall it was great. I watched last night. I ended up seeing Alex and Brad's streams. Those are on Giant Bombs as well. It's very funny because uh, Brad was clearly like they were like showing it um, in Giant Bomb chat, and Brad was only reading Giant Bomb chat, and he wasn't in the Spawn on Me chat, which was like, nah, Brad, come on. Like, I understand. You turn chat on, but I know you instinctively want to look there. But, there's other people watching. Let's see what's up. I paid attention more to the EGX side of stuff because I enjoy Eurogamer's YouTube channel, and they seem to be promoting me more than most. Yeah, I mean, like, uh, that is a smaller thing, and they can focus a little bit more. I did check out some of the Australia stuff because some of that stuff I was definitely a little bit more engaged with and more interested in. Like they people were doing like Loading Ready Run did like a Australia focused Q&A, and I thought that was a neat idea. They also did a desert bus Q&A, and they used one of my question, and I was really happy about that because I thought it was a pretty cool idea, especially in this age of doing it differently and doing it via quarantine. And it's like my question was outside of playing the game, which is that they play the Desert Bus game and then raise money for charity. But I was like, outside of playing the game, what is like required? What is the one thing that's like it's not Desert Bus if without this? Which I thought, like those are the questions they are probably asking as they try to, do a different version of it. I saw that Brad forgot about his previous appearances on Vinny Vania, and that Barkerville bit came from one of the early episodes. Yes. Yeah, that's just a fun thing. Not a lot of people, but some people associate. It's weird because some people associate Barkerville with John Drake doing the song in the last ditch effort by Harmonix to get enough money for Amplitude. But yeah, for some reason, a bunch of people associate it with that. But that was just him writing lyrics to the bit that had been presented to him. It was just like fulfilling that bit. But if you don't know that bit, then you're just like, Barkerville. Sure, whatever. Alright, so this went in there. This has got to go here. I see now. There we go. Got it. Yeah, there was just a lot going on this weekend. But for me, it means I have a lot of stuff to watch. Wasn't John Drake there for the original Barkerville? Lastbrook, my memory, like, here's my time where my memory's off. Yes, I believe he was there for it. But then in the thing, he did it. Good night, Harold. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in, my friend. I have this specific episode downloaded on my PC to watch on occasion because it's a funny episode where Drake rants about the Kickstarter hate, Brad's Barkerville revelation, and the weirdness of Castlevania 2. Yes, that's right. He was there. That was the thing. One of their early attempts to promote the Kickstarter was being a guest on podcasts. And at the end, you go, hey, we got a Kickstarter. Because, like, rightly, websites that are game enthusiast press were talking about Kickstarters, but, like, did feel weird about promoting, especially when you take into the fact that Alex did work at one point at Harmonix. They were trying to be careful of that stuff. But it is a thing where it's like, well, we can have our friend on, who we would just have on anyway. Yeah, we'll just have him on a video, and he can promote the thing he wants to promote. In this case, that was indeed the Amplitude Kickstarter. Yeah, because that's an easy way to be in there. And it's like at the end, you're like, oh, what do I... Like, hey, folks, Rotten Funches likes Abby, likes Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb folks like Ron Funches. Sure, he's going to be on. Was he also on a recent Beastcast because he has a Quibi show that he would like you to watch? And he had a stand-up thing that was going to be tickets you could buy and then watch on YouTube that weekend? Yeah, he was promoting things. He was also a great, fun guest, and it was a pleasure to have him there. But he was also there to promote things because, you know, he had things to promote. Uh, that's not always the case when you have somebody guesting. My friend Eliza was like, if you don't like me, maybe don't listen to the alt comedy podcasts you listen to, because I'm going to be on all of them. Because my friend Eliza is the head writer on a Muppets Star Wars. There's some kind of thing on Disney Plus, which I don't have, that my friend Eliza Skinner was the head writer on, and she got on any podcast she could to promote this thing. So if it was like, a lot of it was alt comedy podcasts, because that's what you do when you got to promote. I am okay with people being on podcasts to promote things. Not sure why people would be mad at that. Yeah, Epic Global World, I mean, some people are just mad. They're just mad about that stuff because it's just like, at the end, he talked about all this stuff he's doing, and it's like, come on. It's like, no, you come on. It's like, that's sometimes how you get cool people. Every single Comedy Bang Bang episode is people promoting things. Yeah, Epic Home World. Comedy Bang Bang is people promoting things that they're working on, and that's why they agreed to be on it. And people from the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater who are and other comedy institutions in LA who are so excited to be on Comedy Bang Bang, and then eventually will return to Comedy Bang Bang to they eventually will return to then promote things like Joe Wengert or John Gabris, who were just like, sure, I have a character, I'll do it on there, and then eventually, hopefully, I'll be in a position where I can come back as me or my character. Drake also promoted the weird iPhone game. Yes, I do not believe that you can VidRibbon. Never saw updates, so I do not think you can download it anymore for years. And I even think it doesn't work on devices. I think if you went to open it, it would say not, hasn't seen an update. But that was VidRibbon, and it was a cool app. It wasn't, it certainly wasn't the worst thing that they ever made, which was Chroma and that side-scrolling bullet hell game that wasn't fun. Yeah, it didn't survive the 64-bit upgrade. Yeah. Chroma was an interesting idea. But the one, I forget the name of that. Does anybody remember the name of the very cool-looking side-scrolling bullet hell game that they made? I just remember that Eric Pope, was community lead on that, and that must have been hell because that's a hard game. He must have had a real rough time with demoing that. He gave me a demo, and I was terrible, and I literally stopped playing and said, Eric, I love you so much, but I don't want to keep playing this. I've never liked this kind of game. A City Sleeps via Google. Yes, it was A City Sleeps. You were inside people's dreams, helping them out. You entered people's dreams. We're going to build the backpack right now, and then we'll build weapons. But yes, I was very bad at A City Sleeps, to the point where I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. Even though I was clearly an Eric Pope fan. Eric Pope. For Honors Music Edition. Yeah. One of the nice things about being community on a big team is I don't think Eric is running like demos showing you how to do it. I think he is now able to just show off game footage and then have you play it. So I hope anyway. I hope that he's not having to play things that is not in his wheelhouse. That's my hope. All right, so what happens here? This goes like this. Yes. And this goes like this. Yes. All right, I'm figuring it out here. Hey, Mr. Bob, happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome. We were talking a bit about earlier. Look, we talked about the Gundam. I talked about the Gundam. I'm fine with talking about the Gundam again. As I said, I am. I am not. I don't think Eric Pope is showing every person how to parry it for honor. Yes. I've been sidelined by some truck stop barbecue, but I'm feeling better. Hell yeah, Mr. Bob. I'm glad you're feeling better. Truck stop barbecue. Truck stop barbecue. You want it to be great. Oh, you're currently working on a custom model build yourself. That's awesome. We have done one kit bash project here on the stream. I probably would do another one in the future. It was fun to do that one. I had a good time doing it. Worked on the basically. I put together because every Gundam in Iron Blooded Orphans is all the names are taken from the Book of the Dead. And there are, there are only a few, but each number corresponds with the books. So I just like picked another one, and it was like, cool, I'm gonna make this one, and then they just kept bashed together some different components from different Iron Blooded Orphan kits and made my own, and that was a fun project. I'd never kit bashed before. That was pretty fun. I might be up for that again in the future because I did have a good time doing it. I have been struggling with effort on some laundry drawer things. Yeah. Gotta finish the project in 2020. I hear you. Sometimes you got a project and you gotta get it done. I haven't had a big project in a while. Doing some food projects now. I've done one with my brother, and this one I personally wanted to do. Nice. That's awesome. Well, good luck with it. I think that, my next big creative project, which is coming in the future, is going to be a Lego free build. I have not put together all of the. I don't have all the Lego that I want to do this, but it'll be from a whole lot of kits that I have put together. And I have a lot of just spare Lego. And my goal is to build myself a big, fun robot or mech. Maybe I'm doing a mech. I can get a piloted mech. I think that would be neat. But that is a future plan. Is just, get all my Legos together, look at that, and see what's going on. Lego Rex, yeah. I called my local GameStop to ask about Xbox pre-orders. They tell me they're doing them in store and are opening up early to do it. I will be putting on a mask and going in person. I don't think I'll get one if I try to do it online. Yeah, I mean, look, particularly if you are trying to get the smaller model, the less expensive model, because it seems like they are probably not putting out a lot of those out at all for pre-order. Well, be safe, Epic Open World, and good luck to you. I hope you get what you're looking for there. All right, we are body complete here with our Leo. Now we just need to, I need to fix this. And then we need to put together our weapons, and then we will take some photos of this. We will take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. 2020 is a bad year to try to get popular game stuff on websites. Yeah, I mean, seems like you'd hope that people like the Sony stuff led folks to be like, all right, we have to be better about this. We're going to do a better job with Microsoft, but I have no idea if they're going to be able to pull off anything well. I hope they do for people, because I would love it if people didn't have to go to stores to pre-order their games that they want. It would be rad if you didn't have to do that. I would say that would be great if you didn't have to go and wait in a line in a store to pre-order your console. I have no idea. But good luck for everybody that wants to do it. It does sound bad. All right, we're going to get our gun together here, and then we're going to take a pause for the cause. Then we're going to put together our beam sabers, which are, easy builds, and and we'll put together our shield, and then we'll take some fun photos. And then we're going to move on to a Lego set that I've been wanting to build. So I made the call that I would work on that next. I still have a high grade and a master grade left in my backlog. And then, of course, in a few days, theoretically, I will be getting shipped out anyway some pre-orders that I put out, two of which I bought in April, two of which I bought pretty recently. So we'll see. Hopefully those arrive at the end of the month. But I don't know. Two of the pre-orders are coming from Florida, and two are coming from, I don't know where Premium Bandai mails things out. Hey, Pat, what's up with Gundam prices? I know the answer, but what is up? Yeah, it's, I will say this, folks. Unless you are, well, first of all, if you are buying model kits from Amazon, which you certainly can, if you're buying kits from Amazon, you want to download Honey. You want to download the app Honey, as a browser app, and track prices, because depending on if they're out of stock or the third parties, prices are definitely just jumping all around and getting real weird. So you want to keep an eye on that and see, like, hey, did this jump at $20 or not? No, it's not. It's not bots. It is mostly it is an issue of just supply and demand and international shipping. But yeah, I would say more than ever, I would really suggest that people buy model kits from reputable dealers. Yeah, it's not bots this time. You think P Bandai is California based, Lashbrook? Okay, yeah. Well, then it'll be the end of the month then, because that's going to take some time. But yeah, the hope is that things arrive. But yeah, prices are high. High grades are going up now. You can see high grades for $30 instead of 20 or 25. But master grades are. We'll get to it. I'll look at the list when I take my pause of the cause. But the price of master grades, it actually, like, I will say this, folks. The best deals out there right now for Gundam are pre-ordering from Premium Bandai. Premium Bandai pre-orders are at least reasonably priced. They'll get pushed. Yeah, they're very high. I mean, that's the thing. High grades are going for 60 on Amazon. Yeah, some of the high grades are high, especially third-party sellers. But if you're looking to something that's going to come out in a couple months, and of course those could get pushed back. But I would say, yeah, some of the best deals are Bandai's, or Premium Bandai, and that's very strange. Anyway, we're going to take a pause for the cause, folks. If you're new to the stream, here's what's happening. I'm going to take a couple minutes and just talk about ways you can support the channel if you'd like to. You are under no obligation to do so, but if you like what you see and you want to help out, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, just chill for a couple minutes. It'll be okay. I'm also going to do a little self-promotion. I do this in the middle of every stream, and it shouldn't take too long at all. So bear with me here. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can go to the Baer Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're interested in subscribing, you can use your Prime Gaming. You have your Amazon Prime link with your Twitch. You get a free token a month. I would love that token. To me, it's just like money. Or you can use regular old cash money if you wanted to. That is a great way to support what I do here. And I would very much appreciate it. You're under no obligation to do so. If you'd like to give me a follow so you know when I'm streaming, I would appreciate that as well. Again, you don't have to do any of the stuff I'm about to say, but if you want to do one of the two, that'd be great. Um, let's see. I have a Patreon. If $5 a month is too rich for your blood, but you would like to monthly support what I do here, you could join my Patreon. I have a $1 and a $3, a $5, and a $10 level. If you're watching later on YouTube, I'm putting a bunch of links into my chat right now, but you can see those links later in my. You can watch those links later if you'd like. Just go in and check out the YouTube archive. It's in the show description. You can check it out there. Again, got Patreon. I got my, subscribing here. If you were like once in a while, every once in a while, maybe right now, you'd be like, I got a couple bucks that could go towards you buying a model kit or kits because stuff I make on Patreon, stuff I make, money I make here on with subscriptions, and money I make through my coffee and my Streamlabs and my PayPal all go into buying model kits because I need to keep buying model kits so I keep building stuff on stream. That is the best and worst part of doing this is I get to build model kits. I do 6 hours of building a week. And the downside is I got to keep having model kits to build. Speaking of which, I have an Amazon wish list. If you would like to buy something off the wish list, when it comes in, it jumps the queue. So I have stuff that I'm waiting to build, but I'll build what comes from y'all before I build anything that I bought myself. The possible exception being when that desk site comes, because I'm building a desk site soon, I'm buying that desk site. So I have an Amazon wish list. Feel free to check out this wish list. If you see something there you'd like to see me build on stream, you can pick it up. I got some inexpensive Lego on there. I always try to have a couple inexpensive Lego options. Hey, speaking of expensive high grades, there's a $20 high grade on there with Prime shipping. The RGM 79. So the GM, yeah, if you want to get the old 79. Go old school in that high grade. That high grade is a reasonable price. And then of course more expensive, as I said, master grades are getting up there in price. Like even some real grades. But yeah, seeing a $50 master grade is not that surprising, and up to 60 is not surprising at all. But yeah, if you see something in there, and then we jump the queue. But yeah, I'm going to build a desk site when it comes down to it. So that's my Amazon wish list. I also, another option is, and I do recommend them because I think USA Gundam Store does a great job and has great service. You can buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card. They send you the code in your email. Then, if you'd like, you could then take that gift card. You got the numbers in your email. Send me a whisper on here on Twitch. Send me a DM on Twitter and go, hey, I bought you a gift card. A few people have done that, and I've been very grateful for it. Again, folks, we'll get back to building in just a moment or two. I have a Discord. You can join my Discord. That's a free thing. If you were like, Pat, you've been mentioning things that cost me money. I don't want to do that. Join my Discord. I post build photos of things I'm working on. People post photos of things they're doing. People can promote themselves to other people in the community. I post videos, the links to videos that I make. It's a great way to keep track of that in case you're not on Twitter that often, because I am unfortunately pretty damn active on Twitter, because you kind of got to be if you're in the self-promotion game like I am. I have a couple videos to link to you. I do a weekly series. Every Wednesday, I put out a new episode of Baering the List. I use Tier Maker to rank things. Sometimes I take it very seriously. And sometimes I rank all the hairstyles of Frankie from One Piece, because that cyborg man has a lot of hairstyles. So I ranked those. That's a sillier one. Also, I have every other Monday I do Pat Baer's Anime Club, and this is the last episode, which was my PAX panel. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I did a PAX panel. for PAX Online, and that's the archive of that. And then I also, because of time constraints, because it was pre-recorded, there was bonus material because I recorded too much for the time slot. So I cut a segment out, and then I just put that segment out there. So there's a bonus. It's my first ever. It's episode. I think it's like 25.5. Because why not? I just got a. That's so weird. I got a content ID from a video that I put up in 2016. That's right. 4 years later, someone's like, "Hey, this part of your video, we own this," and they're not wrong. They do, but it is weird that I just got that email. That's unrelated to what we're doing right now. Anyway, those are some videos you can watch. YouTube.com/PatBaer is my YouTube. If you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks. Click one of my other videos. And I'm going to drink a little water. And then we're going to get back into, we're going to work on the shield. I'm going to put the beams together. I'm going to take a bunch of different photos. And then we'll move on to a cool Lego set. Water. Pretty damn great. Am I right? I am. Okay. So, we have to build the shield and the beam sabers. So we'll do that. And then we got to put on some different stuff for that. There are components here to make it a little bit more like a traditional Leo, if you wanted to do that. I always enjoy that when those are there. Pat's stream in 2030. Hi, I'm Pat Baer. Tonight we're working on the leg of my life-size Gundam. Yeah, so the nice thing about the Discord is it is very chill. If you were like, oh, I didn't check the Discord today, it's okay. We don't really post like I post, especially if you missed a stream, you can see the build photos that I take at the end of each stream or the end of each project and kind of keep up with what's going on. But yeah, if you're like, oh, I haven't looked in a couple days, don't worry about it. It's pretty damn chill. But yes, I don't expect to ever work on a life-size. Hey, here's hoping I never work on a life-size Gundam, because that sounds terrifying. So yeah, hopefully I don't ever do that. 8-4, great. Here's this would make 3 Discords that are model oriented that I'm part of. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Oh, Mr. Bob says, Pat, I'm building an Empire State Building kit I've had for many years. I never cared to build, but it's here to be built. Hell yeah, that rules. Yes, that's the thing. Japan's making their big Gundam. I mean, it's a whole thing. That's just weird. And like I said, sometimes I feel like people don't remember the things about what that means. They don't kind of like put it together of like, hey, what was Gundam? What are Gundam about? What's the show about? Yes, it is cool robots. You are not wrong. These are very cool robots. But also, using them is bad. Pat, I will be there for a life-size Gundam for you as a person. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, oh, okay. Okay, so the cool thing is you can put this here in the shield. I do like it when the beam saber holders are behind the shield. I think that's classy and classic. It's both. I think that's just a nice thing. All right, so I'm going to take some photos because we are now build complete. But I'm going to take photos in a bunch of different ways here with a bunch of different things, so you can see all the different ways that this goes together. So we've got our gun and shoulders here and this head, and I will just be taking some photos of all the different ways you can style this. You can do that with the gun. You can. We'll take this head off. Oops. Neck came out. Started out as a space opera. Still prefer it that way. I do enjoy modern interpretations. Yeah, I mean, like I said, one of my favorites is Iron Blooded Orphans because I think it really does tell the story, I think, properly of or not. I think it tells a story with the gravitas that it deserves, and is a very personal story. Uh, and it does include very cool looking Gundams, but it's also it's just sad and brutal, and I think that is sometimes missing from. Sometimes people miss the point. The good news about the life-size Gundam, it looks like it is a life-size Gundam stand holding it up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're a long way away from mechs being just like part of our reality, and that's what I'm saying. We should be focusing on exoskeletons because Exo Squad, outside of the race of people that we created to be slaves, that part of Exo Squad, maybe we should, not go for. But the whole thing of like, we built these to help us mine in space better and maneuver in space better. It's Exo Squad. And then, of course, it had military applications because, of course, it did. But yeah, we could do Exo Squad. Let's do Exo Squad. All right, so we're going to do small. Why are these even on here? Shoulder things. And we'll take the gun out. Replace it with that. Do that. And then with the second head. And then we'll take that photo. That. And then we'll do no weapons. And the head that doesn't have a sticker on it. And we'll swap these out. Oops. And then we'll put this rocket back on because that popped out. Because, things always pop out. And we'll do the third set of shoulders. And then we'll put a shield on as well. What we'll do is for this one, we'll do 2 beams. Double beam sabers. That is a silly thing that I like the idea of. Do that. I know the stream has talked about Exo Squad before, but I don't think it ever hit me about the slave race made by Human Factor. Yeah, Mr. Bob, that's a thing that, I remember not really thinking about when I watched Exo Squad. It didn't super occur to me about the whole, what that meant, and the whole, a big part of Exo Squad is this this civil rights moment, and their autonomy and their their own agency, and their rebellion, the first rebellion that was quelled, and now the first rebellion which was cool, and the new rebellion which is not cool. And the guy that, and then also, hey, guess what? The guy that had stopped the first one and then ran the second rebellion of that genetically created race, he also at one point was making his own better versions. So he was playing around with it. And that's fucking awful. A lot of that show was real fucked. I thought before the Exo Squad the show started, there was a revolt before the time of the series, and the guy that from that race that was part of the Exo Squad had led that revolt, and it was quelled, and then he was basically in there to make up for it. And the guy that had turned on him started the second revolt, in which case they became in charge of humanity, and they took over and were enslaving humanity. But he was doing it. He wasn't looking for equality. He was looking to dominate them. So he was the bad guy. And it was like, oh, okay. There's a lot. Who do I trick to make a show like that get back on the air? I don't know. Yeah, I think Titan. I would say going for I would say going for mechs that are like Chrome Hounds style, Mech Warrior style. I think that maybe is the way that I would go as far as instead of Gundam. Uh, I don't know. I like that I just tried to take this shoulder piece off, and instead I took the entire kit apart. That's a sign of a great kit right there. I have to look at my photos to see what head I didn't use. I used that one. I used that one. Okay, so I haven't used the yellow one. Oh man, you're talking about Exo Squad and the genetically altered slave race. Have me thinking about tanks from space above and beyond. That is not a reference that I know. So sorry, I cannot help you with that show because I do not know that reference. Just make a Titanfall anime. Yeah, I think that would be fucking dope. I would love to hear some stories. And then, battle in and outside of mechs. That would be cool. Tell a real personal story that way. We do have to, at some point, folks, we do have to talk about the anime that came out in the past couple of days. It is time to talk about that. So let's do that. Exo Force, yeah, no. Sorry. Um, so I will, as always, I will be talking about the anime that came out since our last stream. Yes, also drink some water. That is a good note. Thank you for that remembrance to drink some water. But yeah, I'm just going to quickly go through. I'm actually going to start with the last show on my list, which is God of High School. I have built an Empire State Building. Hell yeah, Mr. Bob. That's awesome. This shoulder piece does not want to come out. Let me see if the other one does, because I can just swap them. I would say if you get this kit, folks, choose what shoulder piece you want to put on, and then don't try to swap them, because for whatever reason, they're very annoying. And I just want to put the shield on this to take a photo with the last head and show it what it's like when you put the shield on, and it does not want to do that. There we go. Got that on there. Yeah, so I would say if you're going to pick this kit up, just pick the shoulders you want to use and stick with it. Anyway, it was the last episode of the first season of God of High School. How do I know that there's going to be another season? Because it ended on a big-ass cliffhanger, and I'm pretty sure there's only 12 episodes. Now, do I know that for sure? Generally, I believe there's 12 episodes of God of High School, and there'll be another season because it is Crunchyroll original, so they're helping to pay for it, its development, and so I assume that they will do more of it because it's pretty damn cool. This is the diver Leo. You don't get that choice on the base Leo. Yeah. Yes, this is the diver one, so. But I'm saying, if you're putting the Leo together, pick shoulders and stick with it. Alright, so those are all the options of the Leo. We're now done with the Leo. Okay, my big takeaway, if you haven't watched it and you were looking for some shows to pick up at the end of the season, I would say this is a show to pick up. It is, God of High School is pretty fucking dope. I think it is pretty neat, and I would recommend it. All right, now let's start knolling. This is a 3-in-1, but you may have noticed this 3-in-1 has a huge booklet instead of 3 tiny ones, which is cool. And we're going to start with the shuttle. This is the shuttle transport, and we'll start with the shuttle. But first we have to knoll, and that'll be, a good portion of this stream is just knolling all our pieces. This is a 341-piece kit, which is the most we've done in a while. But we'll start knolling, and then we'll get into building. I will say there was an element in this episode that was computer generated. Most of it's digital art. I haven't seen much of any computer generated stuff, and it didn't look great. It was a big gold god kind of infused in a I would call it an Indian mythology, and it did not look particularly great. especially compared to the other stuff in that show. So that was a bummer. It's a good series. This was a good end to the series. I assume there will be another season, although, as Lashbrook points out, the webtoon is going on hiatus. But they still have plenty to do in this show. So I assume there'll be a season 2. I thought this was going to be a double-length series, but I guess it's not. Let's see. There was some flashbacks about Jengle. Okay, so we had the return of the U.S. president. Now, if you remember, you may remember this. I talked about this before. In the webtoon, the U.S. president was definitely Barack Obama. It was very clearly Barack Obama. But when they were making the anime, they didn't make him Obama. They made him... basically, they made him look like Tony Stark. They made him look like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark as the president, which I think is a very fun choice. Anyway, we haven't seen the president's first episode, but everything's going off, and he sends some nukes. Also, there was a guy that died in the last episode. It was a character named, what was his name? Jugok. Turns out his grandfather is a big deal, and he does some stuff. And I just want to say that a lot of this is obviously Asian influenced. It takes place in Seoul. It is very Korean focused. There's martial arts from Japan and China in this as well. And there's like an American professional wrestler, but that, pretty minor. But also, this dude was dressed like a fucking magician, and I was not expecting that. He had like a checkered pattern magician's hat. It was fucking pretty cool. I did not expect him, but he did some prestidigitation, and it was very weird and kind of saved the day, but maybe didn't. He saved the day from the cult, which is good. He didn't save the day from the character Jagal, who is the main antagonist of the show. So throughout the whole thing, they were talking about how there's the key. The cult is searching for the key. This tournament is here to find the key. I thought the key was going to be a person. It turns out the key was some sort of amulet inside of a person. And then Jagal absorbed that, and now he looks like, I wrote this down, he goes through a really fucked up transformation and grows fucking wings and horns and a third eye, and he definitely looks like a devil, and that's not good. Please enjoy season 2, because that's how basically the first season of this show ends with and the main antagonist is now more powerful than a god. Oops. It looks bad. How's Mori gonna defeat that? I don't know. Hopefully he can. He probably won't. And then we also got to see Mira use her god that is helping her out, or god or mythical figure. In this case, it's Lu Bu. She's got Lu Bu helping her out, which is just fun. It's just fun that it's Lu Bu. I don't know. Wasn't expecting it. That it would be Lu Bu would be her helper. It's a weird show. At first I was kind of bummed that it became less Street Fighter or it became less Dead or Alive and more like Mortal Kombat. Lu Bu F yes. Yeah, it's just cool that it's Lu Bu. But yeah, I would say at first I was kind of bummed when mythical, magical stuff started happening, and it wasn't just a bunch of high schoolers. I mean, obviously, there was shit happened in the first episode that told you that there was more going on than they had, than meets the eye. Like, I knew there was going to be more than they were getting at. Like, it was pretty clear. But once it kind of came into it, that it was like, oh, this won't just be a lot of different cool fighting styles. People are going to be using cool magic abilities. Basically, people are going to have stands. They're going to have stands, and those stands are historical figures or mythological figures. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I guess we can do that, I guess. But yeah, I wasn't as thrilled with that part, but it did win me over, and I think that the music is cool, and I think the fighting is the fight choreography and fight animation, I think, is fucking fantastic. So even if you just want to watch a compilation of fights, if you want to go down that road and just watch a YouTube compilation of fights from the series, I would definitely recommend God of High School for that. I think it's very cool. Going back in order. So the last episode, episode 9 of the Ninja Collection, ended like, oh, I'm going to handle it. And I thought this was going to be a two-parter. It was not a two-parter. This episode was another, just like, because it's not episodic. It's just like, here's this episode, here's this thing. At the end, a ninja's going to help out. There's a monster. It's fucked up. A ninja will help out. This one was, I love this start of this episode because the woman's just like, oh, another day of work. Nothing exciting happens to me. And then, oh, there's a monster. And, oh, God, I woke up. Something's wrong. My husband is dead, or boyfriend, never said. What's happening? Oh, there's a monster. Ooh, I woke up. Oh, what's happening here? And she's like, as it's going, she's like starting to... she can't remember what's happening, but she can kind of remember that that she's forgetting something, and it happens like 3 or 4 times until she's like, I don't want to forget. When she says, I don't want to forget, then she wakes up again. Because I don't want to forget, and the spirit of her boyfriend or husband defeats the monster, and then they wake up like nothing happened. And that's the end of the episode. And I was just like, what? They're 5 minutes. They're an interesting art style. I do want to say this. So this is based on the anime Ghost Stories, which is very cool, and are longer episodes. Crunchyroll just put out like 2 episodes of the live action, which is just those episodes, the old episodes of the original series, done by actors in like a stop motion thing. So again, like, it's just like image of a person, animated backgrounds or still backgrounds. It's really weird and maybe worth checking out. I should also say, because we're about to hit the in-between seasons thing where some shows have ended and new shows haven't started until October, won't start till October. They put out Crunchyroll just got the first like 40-something episodes of Detective Conan, aka Case Closed. And I'm probably going to finally watch some of the beginning of Case Closed because I've never seen the very beginning of it. I've seen a bunch of the movies and I've seen some of the show, but never from the beginning. And I think I'm going to do that. And that'll be pretty weird to kind of like check out that series because I've never actually watched like the beginning of it. So I'm kind of excited about that. And then I just want to talk about real quick. This episode of there was some cool shit that happens in this episode of One Piece. Some very cool shit happened in this episode. It was action packed. The last few episodes have been very slow as Yashu was basically executed. Definitely executed. And they kind of lingered on the sadness there. This is picking up the action. We got to save Toko. We got to fight some people. We got to save Yashu's bodies for a proper burial because they definitely won't. So a bunch of the Straw Hats do some fighting, and it's been a while since we saw I mean, especially like Robin, who wasn't in the whole Cake Island arc. Robin doing any sort of thing is like very surprising and cool. Uh, yeah, we see Sanji, uh, and then uh, Zoro is fighting against Karoshi, the guy with the blue pompadour, who uh, definitely has some other stuff going on with him. Interesting to see what happens there. Uh, and then you have to see everybody do their stuff. And then oh yeah, and then hey, maybe you remember the assassin that was laughing all the time that had face bandages on. That was um, uh, you may remember him. He was the one that Zoro defeated. Well, he got imprisoned, and also coming along with him for at the time no good reason, but then it explained. Kid who had escaped. He literally broke his own arm so he could escape. Cut his arm off so that he could escape. He's back in custody because he was chasing after Kamazo. And Kamazo apparently ate one of those defective devil fruits, so that's why he's laughing all the time and seems to be insane. Because he ate one of the defective smile fruits and got all messed up. And spoilers, if you're not caught up on One Piece, that's Killer. Killer was Kid's right-hand man. He was, we only saw him he wore a mask, and, you know, he had long blonde hair, and now he's in a ponytail. And that's fucked up, because that dude was, like, pretty calm and collected and chill, and ate a smile fruit and got all fucked up. And Kid doesn't know what happened and is rightfully fucking just devastated that a member of his crew has been fucked up like this. He was part of the worst generation. And it's fucked up. What happened to him? And then Luffy taunts Queen to get him to fight because he's pissed off and he wants to beat up on Queen. So hopefully he will in the next episode, but there's going to be some issues there. But yeah. Oh, also, Sanji's fighting a dinosaur. One of the Beast Pirates, ex-Drake, his devil fruit is that he's got a mythical devil fruit and he can become a dinosaur. So he's a dinosaur, which Sanji's having a little trouble fighting. So there are some tough guys they got to deal with. But yeah, that's not great. And all right. We have now nulled everything. Now I'll do a proper null. Oh, there's more pieces. Sorry, we're not done nulling. There's 370 pieces in here. 371. Or 341, I should say. Sorry. I'll do a proper null and kind of get it organized later, but right now it should be good. Let's just get all the pieces out here. Anyway, that's my anime thing for this. So that's the end of God of High School. As I said, I will be going in and trying to check out some stuff that I skipped. I will probably go back to Gibate, because I wasn't super into it at the time, but I might go and finish it. The art is bad in that show. The CG monsters are just poorly done, but I might go back and finish that up because I'll have some time. And yeah. Oh, speaking of anime, this Wednesday, my bonus stream is a live recording of the next episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. It is going to be my end of season review. I'll be talking about all the shows I watched and my thoughts on all of them. Now, you're saying, Pat, you're recording this on a Wednesday, but you have like 3 shows that won't be over on Wednesday. They will be over on Friday and Saturday. Yes, unfortunately, there are a couple shows that have 13 episodes, or it started a week late. So at the time of my recording, I won't have finished them up. But uh, two of them are my favorite shows of the season. I don't think the finale is really going to ruin it. And then one, I already know what I think of it, and it'll just be an idea of uh, did I like Food Wars by the end of it? Interesting thing about Food Wars, um, I don't often pay attention to uh, like if I haven't read the manga, I don't pay attention to what changes were made or what was cut or anything like that. I tend not to pay too much attention to that kind of stuff because it doesn't really apply to me because I'm watching the anime. But apparently, a lot of people were like, some people were like, I hope that the anime rewrites and redoes some of the story. So apparently, a lot of people did not enjoy the end of Food Wars manga and wish that this had changed it, like dramatically, which they weren't going to do, but I can understand. One thing they could have done, I guess, is not done 13 episodes. If they'd done 24 or 26, then they could have um, like expanded some stuff and like built out some things. But it sounds like since the manga people really didn't love the last season of the manga, maybe they would be like, no, we're not going to sign off on that. And then also, maybe don't make it. That's probably not going to, it probably wasn't in the cards, like, they were still going to make they were still going to make that show no matter what. It's a popular enough international brand that they were going to make the anime of the last season, even if it wasn't, or the fifth plate, I should say, even if it wasn't that strong. Because to me, the fourth plate ends in a great spot. Like, does it wrap up every loose end? No. But also, the anime is, the last season is not doing a great job of wrapping everything up. I said this on Twitter, that all of my predictions are coming true, and that's a bad sign. I shouldn't be able to predict all of the beats of an anime. Even one that I've watched every episode of. That's bad. Hello, our Urban Buddha. Welcome. Just finished up the Leo tonight, and I've started a new Lego set. This is the Shuttle Transporter 3-in-1. We're starting with the thing in the photo there, but there's also another truck and a helicopter that we can build, and then there's also a kind of like a truck and a camper van. That'll be a fun little thing to build, a little camper attachment. But we're starting with the shuttle, and then we'll build the trailer and the truck too. So yeah, just starting out on this kit, but this will be our next big project. But yeah, that's my general take on Food Wars. Is like, yeah, I think it looks cool. I'm excited to put this together. My general take on Food Wars is that, like, man, it's way too predictable. All of my predictions that I started making have been right, and that shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't be making very smart predictions about the show. That I'm just like, oh yeah, I bet this happens, and I bet this happens, and then it does. That's not good. I mean, my main problem with this last season is just like they have to get to the plot through. They have to get through a tournament arc, a very quick tournament arc. Which, and let me be very clear about this. I said this before, and I want to repeat myself on it. None of the new characters are interesting at all. They're all lame as shit. They all suck ass. And there's no, like, noir. Like, if you want to look up, like, Food Wars, noir, you'll just see, like, the thing I compared them to was one-off villains of the week from Yu-Gi-Oh! Food Wars feels like it should have ended a while ago. Yeah, I mean, to me, the fourth plate is the end of the show. It's this tournament to save the school from Arena's father, and they do, and they keep winning, and they win the whole thing, and they save the school, and it changes the school in the process, and Erina becomes the director, and Soma becomes the first seat of the Elite Ten, and like that sounds rad, and that's cool as hell, and that should have been the end of the show. But instead, they did like another season because they were like, well, we got to do this and this, and we got to do these things. And it's like, I didn't need Erina's mom to be involved. I didn't need a redemption arc for a couple characters. Like, yeah, did I want to see Soma face off against Erina one more time? Sure. But not in the story they're telling here that they aren't telling particularly well and are taking a very long time to do. Yeah. I think the first episode was kind of fun. Just them at the beach, like, making shit happen. Like, that was kind of fun. But once Baloo started, I was like, meh. No, I'm less interested. But yeah. So I don't really need to watch the last episode before I can talk about that. I would like to see the last episode of Misfit of Demon King Academy because I will say that I talked about this on Saturday. I am pleasantly surprised with Misfit of Demon King Academy. It has gone in directions I did not expect, and it ended with a thing that I was like very surprised about and I did not see coming. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes with this last episode. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. It is way more than just a overpowered main character harem show. Pleasantly surprised. In fact, one of the female characters of the show isn't even in love with the overpowered main character. And it is acknowledged that she is in love with another character on the show. And that is a pleasant, odd surprise. Cool, odd, that to my wish list. Yeah, your watch list. Yeah, I would say Misfit Demon King Academy has look, it is an overpowered main character show. He's overpowered. Also, the show just has like a lot of heart and is, I think, very fun. I think it is pretty damn neat. But yeah, it goes some places I wasn't expecting. And I am interested in seeing. I finally watched Doro, and that show is weird. Lashbrook, that show fucking rules. I've said that it is more like the animated, aired on MTV based on the graphic novel series The Mask. Than it is not Jim Carrey's The Mask, but Mask. It is more like that, or Max, not Mask, Max, the Max, MX, X, than it is similar to an anime. It feels like everything I want to see is waiting on next season to start. Yeah, I mean, next season, look, here's the other thing, Urban Buddha. Next season is coming very soon, and there's a fucking ton of shows because things got pushed. I was going on my planned watch list is a lot of shows, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I hope a couple of these don't get picked up or go to Netflix jail for a while and don't come out right away because there's just like a lot of anime I want to see. I mean, there's some stuff that like I'll probably drop. Like, there's a couple shows that are romance shows that are not romantic comedies, and I generally prefer my romance anime to be funny than tragic. But, like, I don't know, there's a lesbian story that looked kind of cool. I'll check that out. It looks like it's kind of fun. There's the show about the people that meet when they're young, and then they end up then they meet again and get married. That also, maybe inaccurately, but is categorized on AnyChart as being sci-fi. And so I'm like, what part of this show is sci-fi? Is that wrong? Now I need to go and find out. But there's a few things that I'm like, I'll definitely probably drop that. And that's what I'm going to talk about on Wednesday. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, will be my next stream. It's my weekly bonus stream. I am doing my roundup for for this last season, the stuff I like the most, and then I will be talking about next season stuff as well. But yeah, I'm going through a bunch of stuff. I'm waiting for Black Clover to fucking finish up this goddamn filler arc that isn't good. It's maybe getting kind of interesting right now, but it's been mostly bad. It's their first filler arc. I thought it would be better than it is, unfortunately. Looking forward to Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer movie. That's coming up in October. I'm looking forward to that. Just a bunch of good-ass anime shows coming up that I'm very much looking forward to. Of course, there's a bunch of isekais that I'll be checking out. Who knows if I'll keep up with those. That one about the dungeon, it's not an isekai, but it's an action show. I don't know. That one seems weirdly horny. It doesn't have to be, doesn't matter if it is or not, but it seemed weird. The last two episodes of Black Clover are okay, but before that I put off watching episodes. Sometimes just out of dread. Yeah. So, like, when it first started and they were, like, in that dungeon, I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. They'll explore a dungeon. That's kind of fun. That I think was pretty cool. The episode that focuses on Yuno, I think, is pretty great. And then the half episode that half features on Charmy was okay because I really like Charmy. But most of them have been just not great. And I haven't been super enthralled with them. But this last two are interesting because they're trying to tell somewhat of an interesting story. The problem is we know it's filler, so none of it can matter. Like the episode with Vanessa, where she goes back to the witches. Those two girls that were introduced in that episode, we're never going to see again because they don't matter. So yeah, they can go back to the village with the boars if they want, but it's not like that's going to be important to what happens in the future. Because what they're not doing is, like, the idea that you would expect is, okay, well, after the time skip, these characters have all these abilities and powers. Let's show them learning them. But when they get to those moments in the anime, they still want to have those moments of, like, people doing the new spells they learned. So they're not going to do that. So instead, they're just going to do them kind of training to learn that new stuff. Excuse me. Sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, am I going to watch A Regular at Magic School Season 2? Of course I am. I like the nonsense bullshit of that show. I need 8 of these, and I've only been able to find 6. So I got to go through. That's why you got to null, everybody. You got to properly null and separate by like styles so you can find the pieces easily. There's one more. Let me find this last one. But yeah, if I had these separated properly, it'd be easier to find this piece that I need. There's Ugh. This is why I don't. Yeah, this is why I don't work at a. Obviously, in 3-1s, you can't just be like open bag 5. You have to like have them all out. All right, we got it. We did it. Move on. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about next season and the shows that are coming out for it. Kind of check out what's going on with some cool anime. I don't know. There's a bunch of good stuff coming out, so I'm definitely interested in seeing what our options are there. But yeah, there's a bunch of isekais, some of which seem more interesting than others. There's the isekai style show of a girl trapped in an MMO RPG that's cute. That is titled Kuma Baer. I don't know for sure if that's the going title, but that is the working title. Literal translation. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Of course I am. Of course I'm gonna watch the anime about the girl that has boxing gloves that look like teddy bears. Yeah, I'm going to watch that. Of course I am. But yeah. Oh, and of course I'm going to watch the Uh, the name alone makes me want to watch. Yeah, it has Boofery vibes. Although in Boofery she was not trapped in the video game, but it has that kind of vibes of like pretty cute uh, inside a MMO, a virtual MMO, I should say. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that, and I'm gonna watch that something about gods. It's got named gods in the title, by the grace of the gods or something like that. It's a isekai. Guy gets reincarnated as a young boy, and he has some magical abilities, and most of it I think is pretty chill slice of lifey, of him like uh having a bunch of slime friends that he commands and trying to help people out, and then he meets cool people, and then he joins like an adventuring guild, I guess. And I was like, that seems kind of neat. There's a cat girl, usual shit. I was like, oh, I'll check that out. That seems like it'll be fun. Yeah, that sounds okay. I'll probably watch that. The indoor wall climbing anime. You know, new season, the second half of the season of Haikyuu, the latest season of Haikyuu will be there. I'll definitely check that out. Like, there's some stuff I definitely will be watching. Uh, I'm dreading the Kuma Kuma Bear will take a dark turn in the lines of that one anime with the kids stuck in high school. Yeah, Dirty. That show. Yes, I know the one you're talking about, where it goes from being weird to being fucked up pretty fast. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, so uh, an anime I've been looking forward to is it's the baseball anime. Yeah, yeah. I'm not big on baseball anime. I mean, I'm not super big on sports anime. Sometimes I do get into it. So I have really liked. Did you see a promo video for that skateboarding anime? No, Lastberg, I didn't. I have heard about the skateboarding anime, but I have not seen the promo for it. Yeah, so I'm hoping Kuma Kuma Bear is lighter. I know that they're trapped in there, so hopefully it'll still remain kind of light. But I don't know if it will. And then what's the other one? There's a bunch of other shows that I'm like, okay, well, I'll give this a go. I'll give this a shot. Basketball, but this one is fun. All the 10 episodes of one game is a bit frustrating. Oh yeah, the last dungeon. Yeah. Yeah, I think that skateboarding one is next year, because they've been announcing some stuff that was coming out next year, and I think that's one of the ones. Like, we got to wait till January before we get more Welcome to Demon School Season 2. I got a teaser image for Welcome to Demon School Season 2 of and so I'm like, oh man, more of that. That show ruled. Uh, I'm not super invested in the sometimes he's a bad guy thing as a plot device, but I'll watch it. It was a double length. It was a double length comedy anime. You know, comedy animes don't get that many episodes. Did it need all 26 or 24? No, it didn't. It tacked on a weird ending, a weird couple episodes, but it was still a fucking rad ass show. So I'm excited for more of that. All right, well, we're gonna do the last steps here. What are we gonna end with? A raid? You bet your ass we will. We will be ending this stream with a raid. I am going to be looking to see who we can go and raid and finding somebody awesome for us to go visit and share the love. If you want to come along on the raid, you're more than welcome to. If you're not interested in doing that, I also understand, and you don't have to. But if you want to come raid, please come along on this fun raid as we go and find someone awesome. But we got some progress done on our shuttle here. And I'm going to go to the intro here. I'm going to mute this so that I can go to my own Twitch and check out who I can go and raid. And we are going to go raid Mary Kish is playing Spelunky too. That'll be good. It'll be fun to see Mary's reactions. So we're gonna go raid Mary because Mary rules. First of all, Mary is just awesome. Her community is rad. There's some crossover between the two, and it's fun to watch her play Spelunky too. So let's go on that. So feel free to come along in this raid. Again, don't have to, but I would love it if you could. And if you don't feel like doing that, I'll see you on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, for my Pet Bears Anime Club a live episode of that. That'll be fun. So feel free to come to that on Wednesday. We'll be working on this Lego set on Thursday. Thanks so much for being here, to new and to old. And I'll see you on the next Build with Baer. Goodbye, everybody. You missed the candy ramen she made earlier. Lord Crashington, that sounds rad. I did miss that. Thank you for letting me know. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye, everybody.